Section 4, Lesson 6, Lookalike Audiences. So custom audiences are awesome. I love them. But what if you have an email list or a customer list that just isn't very big, or you just exhaust it really quickly with your advertising? That's where something like Lookalike Audiences comes into play. Ready to make your own? Let's go. Okay, so what are we going to learn today? We're going to talk about what lookalike audiences are, how to create them, how to use them, and some use cases for lookalike audiences. All right, let's get to that lesson.
Okay, so what are lookalike audiences? This is an interesting little tool. So you've created a custom audience now that is based on your offline customers, so customers away from Facebook. Could be your email addresses, UIDs, phone numbers, but that list might be small. I mean, look, I've got 4,100 because again, it's a matter of which ones matched up. I also excluded a portion of that list. I just didn't feel like it was going to be helpful. So 4,100, it's not that big, and you're going to exhaust that in a hurry. That said, I want people who are like these people. So what you can do is create a similar audience. So what Facebook does, or we can make some assumptions about what Facebook does here because they're not real clear on how they do this, but they match up the interests and characteristics of the people on that list who are also Facebook users to other users who are like them, who have similar interests, other demographics, where they're from, pages they like, that kind of thing. So that's vaguely what Facebook does. So, why this is useful is if you've got this small list or one that's been exhausted, you want to reach more people like them, you can reach a much broader audience. And as you can see, I've created other similar lookalike audiences, and some of these are huge. All right, this one in the U.S. is over 1 million. Actually, that's over 10 million. This one in Brazil is huge. I mean, they're all just really, and this is the top 1%, not the top 5%. And we'll get into what the difference is between those two. Okay, so that's essentially what lookalike audiences are. Now let's create one. So I found my email list. I'm going to create a similar audience. So you can find other people on Facebook who are similar to people on this email list and create a new custom audience so that you can reach them with your ads. Now understand, you can only create one lookalike audience per country at a time. That's why I've got all these various lists that have already been created here. So I'm going to start with United States and by similarity. So you can optimize for either similarity or greater reach. When you optimize for similarity, Facebook will find the people that are most similar to your existing audience. Estimated reach of this new audience may be smaller. So this is actually the top 1%. And when you do by greater reach, you're going to reach more people. That's the top 5% of users who are similar. So you saw how big some of these audiences were at 1%. So I stick with similarity. It's not going to let me create one for the United States because I already have. So I'm just going to go ahead and do Ireland and go ahead and click create. All right, so now I've got this list and I can edit the name. I hate all these underscores and whatnot. I usually just take those out and maybe I'll put in a dash or something. Ireland, I'll even put that in there so it's clear. And then you could put in more info about what that description is. Just like with the custom audience, the size is going to be dashed out and the status is going to be waiting while you're still waiting. And you'll want to check for updates to see what's up. Once I did that as well, Facebook went ahead and basically changed it. So any change like this, you're going to have to upload. Just know that. Okay, so that's how you create a lookalike audience. And again, what I recommend is that you create one for each of your main countries that are in your target group. Okay, so that's why I did 6. And if you have more, do more. If you have less, do less. And depending on the size of that audience, you may want to consider the greater reach option as well. As you can see, I just don't think it's necessary based on what I'm seeing here. And then let's go ahead and use that lookalike audience when you create an ad. Okay, so this is going to be almost identical to what we did the other day with custom audiences. So it's within the advanced options section, custom audiences. And I'm going to type in similarity because it automatically starts pulling in these lists. Now, what I do, I put in every single one of these lists. Okay. Again, it depends on what you're doing. Oops. So, like I said, it was 6 different countries. So I'll get 6 different lists. Oh. So I've got all those lists. Now in the targeting, you just got to make sure that you include all those countries as well. And just like with custom audiences, I didn't do any segmenting after that in terms of demographics, whatnot. You can go either way here. I've got 4 million people I'm reaching at this point, which is actually somewhat surprising given the size of those lists. Actually, this is why, or that's part of the reason why. But so you could limit it a little bit more if you want. I mean, for me, my target audience is generally between 25 and 44. I'll leave gender as is. I'm not going to touch precise interests. I've still got over 2 million people. So, but you can use that in creative ways. But also keep in mind you can use excluded audiences as well. Enter any of these here if you don't want to target them. Not really sure why you do that, honestly, for a similar audience. And there's really no reason to use your custom audience here because those people really shouldn't be in your lookalike audience lists. So, what are some reasons, some use cases for doing this? First of all, when I create page like ads, so first of all, a page like sponsored story or just a standard page like ad. So for a Facebook page where you put in the headline and copy. This is where I like to try out my similar audiences, my lookalike audiences, and I will target them. So the sponsored story, it's really easy. It just targets those who are friends of your current fans, so you don't have to worry about copy and all that business. For this one, I'll usually want to send them to offer something of value, so like a free ebook in exchange for a like, and the usual rules apply here. Make sure that you quickly describe what that ebook is and give a call to action, sending them to that ebook. So those are a couple ways. Now you may have success with selling product. I generally don't. I mean the success rate is way lower than with your custom audiences or your fans. But you at least know that these are going to be people who have similar interests who could be interested in what you have to offer. So those are really the 3 main ways that I suggest. But make sure you check out my post on this one as well.
Think you have a good grasp of lookalike audiences now? Prove it. Let's do your homework.
All right, so here are your action items for lookalike audiences. Number 1, create a lookalike audience for each of your main countries, both for similarity and greater reach. And since you've already created a custom audience, you will build off of that. Number 2, create a page-like sponsored story that targets your lookalike audiences. 1 campaign for similarity and 1 for greater reach.
Great job today. Tomorrow, one of my favorites, conversion specs. See you then.